How many of you play a musical instrument? Did you learn it when you first picked it up? No. Did you make mistakes? Yes. You have to do it over and over again till you polish it. Our next speaker is an inventor who has been inventing for almost all his life. If you go to his home, you will see hundreds of inventions. Some have already been done. He didn't know that when he invented them. Some are yet to be discovered. Right now, he's working on something that could potentially change the world that we live in. The speech he's going to give tonight is a rough draft of what he's putting together for angel investors. It's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of science behind it, because he works in his garage, like a lot of major inventions have been done in the past. But many major inventions have been discovered in garages. And I think what you're going to see tonight, you've heard some of it in the past, but this is what he's putting together. He hasn't seen the entire PowerPoint yet, and it's not finished. Cognitive errors have been happening. That's how it works. As Toastmasters, we learn to take that in stride. So tonight, he's going to be given taping presentation as a draft to send to angel investors. So imagine that you're one of these investors, you're tuning in, and you're watching this video. Please help me welcome Bob Caldwell.
Good evening, everyone. Glad that you were able to make it today. We're going to talk today about the biggest problem facing humanity: pollution in the atmosphere, changing our weather and our way of life. I would like to bring you back in history, back before electricity, when we used kerosene to light our homes. Kerosene had a byproduct, a toxic waste. There was no way that most of the refiners of kerosene would actually pay the expense to have this toxic waste hauled off. A lot of them dumped them in the rivers, the creeks, the streams. It got so bad that rivers actually caught on fire in the 1800s. Can you imagine a river catching on fire? I mean, think about that. Amazing. But that's what happened. There was one refiner, however, that listened to his mother. His mother said, use everything, all your products. So he collected his toxic waste in 3 large containers. He hired 3 scientists to find a use for this product. This product is called gasoline, and we still use it today. It was a toxic waste that people threw away, yet we pay $3 or $4 a gallon for it now. Think about that. Let that sink in. The refiner that listened to his mother was John D. Rockefeller. And that's crucial because he was the first billionaire in this country because he collected his toxic waste and he found a use for it and he made his billion. Now we're going to use that same theory today. Think about it. He was there when they rolled the Model T off the assembly line. He was there when the Wright brothers flew their airplane. John D. Rockefeller led a transportation revolution by creating a product from a pollution. And that leads us to coal. Why focus on coal? Coal is the biggest emitter of pollution. Therefore, it is also the most profitable. It is also the fastest way to combat climate change. Coal is affordable. It's abundant. We have the largest deposits in the world. It is a reliable technology, a known technology, and it's very efficient. 40% of America depends on coal for its electricity. But there is a problem. The problem is the exhaust. The exhaust is the problem. Enter my invention, my solution for this whole problem. My invention literally attaches to the side of a smokestack and vacuums out the carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and other pollutants. To the point where I have proven that it takes over 95% of the pollutants out of the coal-fired power plant. A third party has confirmed this. So now, my invention will attach to any smokestack, old, new, middle-aged, doesn't matter if it's in China, India, no preference. It will not require the plant to close down, not even one day. It literally attaches and they keep the plant going. Nobody loses their electricity for any extended amount of time. The plant has the ability to remove the product, put it into a railroad, and the railroad takes it to a factory. Now, as an investor, how does this profit you? First of all, this invention is very inexpensive to buy, to purchase. The parts only run $600,000 or less. It installs in 21 days or less with 3 crews of 10 men or more. We need to build a drill to go into the side of the smokestack. We need to build a road or railroad tracks to haul the pollutants away. And we need to build the U-tube that collects the pollutants. 3 crews, 3 different projects, all working at once to bring this smokestack to at least a 95% clean. Now, if you're wondering about profit, this is your profit. A typical coal stack will put off 3.2 million tons of pollution a year. As an investor, I would love it if you would start with 10 coal-fired power plants. Think about the math. If you take this byproduct and make $100 a ton, you're making well over $3 billion in profit. Now, you take those same numbers and you're looking at the 1,600 coal-fired power plants being built right now as I speak. 1,600. We have 300 in America up and running right now. The company would take and lease 10 acres next to a smokestack, build up on that, and think about what you're doing for a coal plant as it is. A coal plant now has the ability to stay in business. If it was being shut down because of bad pollution, if it was being shut down for other reasons, you now have a reason to keep it up and running, because somebody is going to pay you to lease your pollution, to take your pollution. So a coal-fired power plant owner gets paid right out of the gate, and he's not emitting pollution. Think about that. Let that resonate. How to get started. How to get started. You pick out 10 smokestacks that need filtration. You start with 1. Once you get that going, then you start with the products. Just like gasoline became a product for John D. Rockefeller, carbon nanotubing is the wave of the future, and it will be the main product from the smokestack filtration. Think about carbon nanotubing for a minute. We enhance lithium batteries with it. We make solar panels more efficient. We make rolls of carpet of carbon nanotubing. We make boats. They've made a boat stronger than fiberglass, but 75% lighter. Think about the advantages on airplanes, but most importantly, think of the future. Think of spacecraft. A product that is lighter, 6 times stronger than steel. It's 100% more conductive than copper. This is the wave of the future. Just like John D. Rockefeller saw gasoline as a wave of the future. Now I'm asking you as investors to look at carbon nanotubing as a wave to make billions of dollars. And also, as a caveat, you get to remove 32 million pounds of pollution in 1 year with 10 plants. And imagine if you get 100 plants or 600 plants. It goes on and on. I'm not just showing you an invention. I'm showing you an industry, a new way of life. Recently, with the United Nations, we were introduced to a young lady, Greta, who said very pointedly that she blames politicians for this problem. But a politician cannot invent. They will only penalize and put carbon taxes and other things. But it doesn't remove the pollution. Who needs to solve this problem? Inventors, but most importantly, you. Capital Ventures. A capital venturist could make the difference where a politician cannot. So Greta, I say to you, look for an inventor and help him find the right investors. What we need to get this started is a smokestack. An old smokestack, a new smokestack, it does not matter. We need one smokestack, one investor, or a group to get this project started. Please, please give me a smokestack.
At this point, I'll turn control of the meeting over to our